It was a time when human civilization was drowned in the deep darkness of falsehood. People would bow their heads before lifeless idols they had carved with their own hands, considering them their creators and the arbiters of their fate. In such a society, there was a young man illuminated by the light of knowledge, whose name was Ibrahim. Astonishingly, his father, Azar, was one of the greatest idol makers of that era. With great care, he would carve figures of gods and goddesses from stone, and people would worship them. One day, his father Azar called his young son Ibrahim and said, "Son, take these idols to the market and sell them." The light of prophethood had not yet been bestowed upon him, but within his heart was an intense desire to know the truth. He asked his father with curiosity, "Father, what is the actual power of these things we are going to sell, to whom people turn for help?" His father replied with pride, "They are our lords, this sky, this earth, even our lives, all are their creation. Our well-being lies in worshipping them." His father's words gave rise to more questions in Ibrahim's mind. He set off for the market with a basket full of idols on his head. On the way, a strange incident occurred. A dog came and urinated on the idols. Ibrahim returned to find his lords defiled and silent. How could those who couldn't even protect themselves from a mere animal be the creators of the universe? His being burned with intense indignation. He addressed the idols and shouted, "What's wrong with you? You couldn't even protect your own honor. By what right, then, do you accept the worship of humans?" In a fit of rage, he took the basket to the river bank. He submerged the idols in water and said, "If you have even the slightest power, then walk with me to the market." But can lifeless stone walk? They remained right where they were. Next, Ibrahim tied a rope around their waists and began dragging them through the dirt on his way to the market. Upon reaching the market, it was seen that the lords were in a pitiful state. Some had no hands, some had no feet, and some had their heads shattered. Who would buy such broken idols? When he returned home empty-handed at the end of the day, his father asked, "What's the matter? Weren't the idols sold?" Ibrahim replied with great wisdom, "Father, they started fighting amongst themselves inside the basket. Each one wanted to prove itself greater than the others, and so they broke each other into this state." His father scolded him, "Do you take me for a fool? How can stone idols fight?" This was the very moment Ibrahim had been waiting for. He calmly responded, "Father, when you yourself admit that they have no power and cannot even move, then how can you believe that these powerless, inanimate objects can be our creators and the creators of this universe?" In the face of this irrefutable logic, his father Azar was left speechless. From that day on, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam dedicated himself to the search for the one and only, the great creator. One day, everyone in the village was preparing to attend a grand festival. They invited Ibrahim as well. But he said, "I am unwell of spirit." His soul was yearning for the true Lord, and this false festival was meaningless to him. Before leaving, the villagers assigned him the duty of guarding the idols in their main temple. For 3 days, the entire village was deserted. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam thought this was his chance. He entered the temple. He saw rows upon rows of idols, big and small. In front of them lay many delicious fruits and foods, but none of the idols were touching them. He began to speak to the idols in a sarcastic tone. "What's the matter? Your devotees have left you such wonderful food. Why aren't you eating? Why don't you speak?" There was no answer. Then his fire of truth in him blazed. He picked up an axe and one by one smashed all the idols to dust. He left only the largest idol intact, hung the axe on its shoulder, and walked away. 3 days later, the villagers returned and upon seeing the state of their deities, burst into an uproar of rage. Their suspicion fell directly on Ibrahim. He was brought before them. Everyone asked him, "Ibrahim, who has done this to our gods?" Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam answered with utmost calm, "How would I know? Ask the biggest one standing over there with the axe on its shoulder. Perhaps he got angry that the smaller ones were not respecting him and broke the rest." The people became agitated and said, "Are you mocking us? You know very well that this idol cannot speak or move." Then Hazrat Ibrahim alayhis salam declared in a voice like thunder, "Then why do you worship something that cannot protect its own companions, that cannot speak, that doesn't even have the power to swat a fly that lands on it? Do you not think it all?" The heads of the crowd bowed in shame. They had no answer. They knew it was Ibrahim who had done this, but they were defeated by his logic. After this, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhis salam began to search for his creator within nature itself. One night, seeing a bright star, he said, "Perhaps this is my Lord." But a short while later, when the star set, he said, "That which sets cannot be my Lord." Next, he saw the radiant moon. He thought, "This is much bigger than the star. Surely this is my Lord." But when that moon also vanished with the breaking of dawn, he said again, "That which disappears is not my sustainer." Finally, when the sun rose in the daytime with all its blazing glory, he said, "This must be my Lord, for it is the biggest and the brightest." But when that sun also set at the end of the day, he reached his final conclusion. He declared, "O my people, I am free from all that you associate as partners with God. I turn my face towards Him who has created the heavens and the earth. I will worship Him alone with sincere devotion, and I am not among the polytheists." Following this sincere and tireless search for the truth, the great Allah, the Lord of all worlds, was pleased with him. Through Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, He bestowed upon him the great responsibility of prophethood. That young man who had once gone to the market to sell idols became the friend of Allah, Khalilullah, and an eternal beacon of monotheism for all of humanity.